Hi everyone, it's Maggie, and I am here with a project share. This is a square doily album that I made, and um, it's fairies, and it'll probably be my last fairy book for a while um, because I've, made a few of them. So I just wanted to share this with you, though. It's the first time I've made a square doily album, and I have to say it was harder than doing the round ones, only because the doilies, the square doilies, and this is the front cover, but let me show you the back first because that's where you can really see these square doilies. um, the weave, this is doubled. I had to put another one on top of the original one because you could see through it when I put in the batting to make the page sturdier. So I had to double it up. The weave on the doilies were just too wide and it didn't look right. So that's why I found it harder. Also, when I bound it, and usually I only do it with one um, piece of seam binding, but I used 3 because the squares were also large. So this is the back. Um, this is a large beaded out and um, sequined applique, and it's a peachy pink color. I don't know if the colors are going to come through because the weather outside, even though I have a nice big window, um, the weather is like the sun's in and out. So I'm not sure if it's really going to show up the colors as well. And as always, I made some dangles. Um, and you can see I did 2 sets of dangles on the back. It didn't need a lot. So on the side, I put it together with 3 sections of seam binding, and because they were fairies and colorful, I used some colorful seam binding. Somebody had sent me this a long time ago, and I finally got to use it. So let's go back to the cover, and here's the cover. And as you can see, I used lots of dangles in this book. And usually I use 4 sets of doilies for the pages, but I only had enough to do 3 because I had to double up on the last page, and then I doubled up on the pocket page. So there are 3, separate page pieces. So let's see. Here's the image. And she's just so adorable. I love these. And I received these photos, or images rather, from Shannon Morrissey during my image challenge last year. And they were some of my favorite images. So I did want to use them. I don't think I've used them before because usually I don't. I try not to duplicate too much. But anyway, they're so colorful, and I wanted to bring out some of the colors in the images. So I used this greenish tool to go around, and then there's another doily on top of the tool, and then there's the image. I went around the image with this pinky peach trim there. Um, this is also a trim that I just cut up to fit, and I had tea dyed it. And I made some flowers with the little appliques and the rhinestone pieces. And over here, I added some leaves, and this is also from a trim. I just cut them individually and used the loopy flowers on the side there in the green. And then this is another trim I had tea dyed, and I love this little trim too. And then I had some of this dangle trim in the same color, so I used that. So that's the first page, and then you open it up, and here's the next page. I need to shake it out a little bit so you can see. Here's the next image. and I used a pink satin and lace trim, a gathered trim, and I went around on top of the doily. I had to hide most of the square doilies because of that open weave, like I mentioned, and which is fine because they're just used for the pages mostly anyway. And I went around the image with this trim here, and then I added this piece from a trim that I had tea dyed. These are also from a trim that I tea dyed, and I added, I think I used a lot of rhinestones in this book. And then here's a little flower applique and some dangles. I had just cut up, and then this pink trim here. And then you can see there's two more sets of dangles. And then here's a little boy, and just so sweet. And I had some gray. So there's some what looks like gray to me in the wings and that, and blue and pinks, and some gold down here. So I tried to bring out those colors. So I cut this trim to fit going around. There's some blue whoopie flowers. I made these applique flowers. I used this gold applique on the side just to bring out some of the gold in the picture. I used, I think on all of the images, I used different gathered trims for around the doily. And then here's more dangles, and I added some clay flowers there. And then the next page is the pocket page, and you can see a little better. See, I had to double it up, but it's just an open weave, and so it just a single one didn't look right when you were going to see half of the doily. And here I used the same doily, and I just folded it in half and used it as a pocket. And then I just added these applique pieces to fit, some clay flowers, more dangles, and I added a pearl and rhinestone piece in the middle of the page there. And I'll put some things in it when I decide who I'm going to send it to. And then this little cutie here, I used the pink tulle and a lot of white. There's another doily on top of the tulle. And here's a pearl dangle piece and some flower dangles here. More dangles down the bottom. It's hard to separate them to show you, so I'm just kind of going to go back and forth because when you try to separate, they get tangled up. And then I added these satin and pearl flowers on top of the flower applique there. So that's basically it. I just love those images. So I love how the book came out. But like I said, this will be my last fairy book for a while. I'll find some other, maybe the next one I'll do will be like ballet or something. But I did want to use these images at some point. So that's it. If you'd like, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. And I will be back again soon, hopefully with another project share. So bye for now, everyone.